Feet hip width apart, scrunch up your toes, lift up the arches underneath your feet, soften the knees, tuck the pelvis under, pull in that pelvic floor, take 100%. Find your TVA, pull in 100%, we're squeezing all those core muscles. Lift up the rib cage, take the shoulders back, find that length at the back of the neck. Almost now, you've got this string pulling your crown of your head, the top of the head, pulling it up towards the ceiling. Get nice and tall in the spine. Shoulders going down, crown of the head going up. Pelvic floor TVA, then pulling in, we're going to take 100%, 6 seconds, and just doing it 3 times. So ready, pulling in 100%, really wake up those muscles, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a slow release. Notice if you're clenching your fingers here, so just loosen out your fingers. And again, TVA, pelvic floor, pulling in. 100%, really go for the squeeze. Check that you're lifting the rib cage, you're not holding that breath. Ready, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, slow release. Last time, pelvic floor, TVA. Really pulling in, 100% working on that squeeze. Check that you're breathing normally, not holding the breath. Fingers are relaxed, jaws relaxed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow release it to halfway, so 50%. Pelvic floor's working, it's engaged. TVA's got that slight little pull, belly button's pulling back towards the spine. We're going to shift the weight over towards the toes and just take the palms back. So shift the weight forwards, over like that, almost like you're doing a ski jump, a big ski jump. And then palms go up, and then just see if you can shift the weight onto your heels. Then again, palms go back, drift forwards onto your toes. They're all like kind of working a little bit to balance. And then up onto your heels, and we can start lifting arms up overhead. So when you're on your heels, just try and get all 10 toes off the mat. Then push back down onto the toes, lift up the heels, take the weight forwards. And it is really challenging, such small movements with our feet is quite challenging on this balance. All the time, pull in pelvic floor, TBA, drift it forwards. See if you can get the arms around the ears as you lift up your toes and you go onto your heels. Drift it forwards, take the palms back. Palms up, arms up, toes up. 4 more, drifting forwards. Pelvic floor TVA is always engaged on this. Lifting up, try not to arch in the lower back. Keep that pelvis tucked under. Drifting forwards. Bring up those toes, see if you can take it back onto the heels. Last one. Forwards, pulling in that pelvic floor. Arms all the way up. And then release. So, starting prayer position at heart center. Breathing in, circle the arms, get your palms facing forwards and then to the side. Circle the arms all the way down and around, looking up, palm above your head, palms together above your head. Then circle the arms back around, press away the air, come back, palms at heart center. Now start putting a bit of pressure, so press these palms together. Then open, keep that chest nice and open all the way around. Press the palms over the head. So we're really pressing fingers, palms together. And then again, pushing away. Come back to heart center. Now think about that pelvic floor, that TVA. Start pulling in. Notice, as we're doing this, that we're not arching the lower back. We're tucking that pelvis under. Press the palms together. Push the air away. Really nice and simple, but kind of nice to do this really slowly. Palms facing the front to start with before they circle. Get that chest nice and open. Pressing them together. A little bit of shoulder work. Bring down. And press. Last one. Circle them down and around and up. Try not to arch the lower back, still engaging pelvic floor, and bringing it all the way down. Brilliant. So I'm going to go for some hip circles now. So hands on hips. Just gently now take the weight over towards one side of the foot, then round to the other. Just hip circles, really nice and soft, gentle, soften the knees. Find pelvic floor, find TVA. Shoulders are relaxed, other way around. How far can you go around into these circles? You know, like you can really stick your bum out here. No one's watching. Kind of really work into the corners of the hips. Then we're just going to go for a gentle twist. So let the arms relax and just take the eye gaze around towards the behind you, towards just over the shoulder. Arms just swing. Keep the knees nice and soft on this. So just kind of loosening out a little bit. Start to pull in pelvic floor, pull in TVA. Coming to the front, then interlink the fingers. Remember we did this a while ago, we did a little figure of 8 with the wrists. So take the figure of 8 with the wrists. So interlinking the fingers and just taking that figure of 8. So like if you've been doing any typing or anything like that, just get to release on the knuckles. And we're just going to release shoulders, upper body with some little binds that we've been working on in the last few weeks. So hopefully you remember the eagle arms. So you put one elbow in front of the on top of the other, interlink, and then see if you can touch. So you cross elbows and then cross forearms, and then see if you can touch palms together, right? Eagle arms, and then now see if you can take a figure of 8 in eagle arms. So we did the figure of 8 with the wrist, now try an eagle arms. So it's kind of like all releasing on the scapula. So dipping one shoulder to one side, lift to center, dip down to the other. And then you've got your figure of 8. Now pull in pelvic floor, pull in TVA. Try and keep the hips still, because the hips kind of want to move with this one. We're trying to think about releasing the upper body. Switch your eagle arms over. So the other elbow goes in front, on top. Again, work into this figure of 8. So just working with a little bit of release work. Tuck the pelvis under. Keep working with that pelvic floor. Last one. So we did this a few weeks back. So take a big stride, feet hip width, arms going over the head. Now interlink the fingers. So like again with your fist, like your wrist, figure of 8. Interlink the fingers. Take that up over the head. Now keep the hips still and take a nice big circle on the ceiling with the upper body. Did it a few weeks ago. So that's one way you can do it, and also you can switch circles. And now another way, if you want to progress that, is take the tricep bind. And we did that the last, 2 weeks ago, and we worked on it last week. Same thing in your stride. And if you can get into the tricep bind and work your circle. So that's your progression. If you want to work a little bit harder in there, go for that one. And that's quite hard, right? You have to be upright in that tricep bind. If it doesn't feel comfortable in that one, go back to that other one, interlink the fingers, taking your arms straight up and work your circles there. Just notice then you're pulling in pelvic floor and TVA. We're not arching through the lower back too much in this. If you haven't already done so, switch your leg forward so you're on the other leg on your stride, because we get a nice little calf stretch in there too. So just 4 more circles, whichever one you're on, whether you're on the tricep bind or whether you're on the straight arms. Interlink fingers. Such a good way just to release the upper body. Last one. Reset facing this way then, and just take the weight over onto your left foot. So, and then I just want you to point your toes on your right and put your toe just onto the mat. So the weight's on the left and the toes just on the right, and slide the left hand down towards that nice grounded left leg, and we're going to side bend. Then recenter and side bend. So we're side bending down to that nice straight grounded leg, and the other toe just points, engages, just touches the mat. Side bend over. Keep the knees soft. So we just get this extra length in that side because that one heel's lifted. So you're just lifting up that heel. Now check pelvic floors in, TBAs in. 3 more. Slide that hand down into that side bend. You might find as we're going through this, you're going to get a little bit further. Reach right through those fingertips. And then literally switch sides. So for me it was my right foot. I'm going to place that right heel down, ground through that right foot. Point the toes on my left foot. Engage that left calf, so engaging that left foot, but just the toes on the mat. Reaching up and over. Side bend. Down into that grounded leg. Pull in pelvic floor, pull in TBA. Recenter, just that hand just sliding down to the side of the knee. And what you really find here is like pelvic floor TBA really pulls in as you recenter it. Lifting yourself back up. Breathing out into these side bends. 3 more. Keep those knees soft. And 2. And last one. So take the feet a little bit wider. Now, I sometimes finish with this move, but we're gonna do this in a standing position. So take the feet maybe about a meter, or a lot wider than we do when we squat, right? And you need a bit of a space around you. So if you were twisting, you need the space. Arms out to the side. Breathe in to prepare. Breathing out, twist. Then we're going to slide, and we're going to go down, opposite hand goes down towards opposite foot. It's the saw. Then recenter into your twist again, breathing out, twist. Breathing in, then breathing out, slide that hand down towards the opposite foot. Uncurl and untwist. So normally I do this in the seated position at the end, right? But let's have a go. Standing, saw, and then lift. Untwist. Kind of a really nice release for the hamstrings. Breathing out as you reach down. Breathing in as you recenter it. Try and separate the twist with that reach down. Should feel those hamstrings. Twist. And then bring it down. I don't know how you find it in the standing, whether you prefer it. Does it feel easier? Just take a little check on pelvic floor TVA. You're pulling in. Three more. Breathing out. Last one for me. So standing again, and a standing version of the move that you might know here is you're just going to put the weight onto one foot, and you might want to hold on to something, up to you, and then just lifting the other leg up. Then we're going to take a small circle, so we're going to take the one leg circle in standing. So take that foot in front, take a small circle, remember like the size of a melon, remember I was talking about that last week, or a grapefruit. Maybe hands on hips, just steady the hips. Hips are still. Small circles to the front. And maybe you're finding all the little muscles in that balancing foot. So scrunch up the toes, lift up the arches, soften the knee, squeezing the glutes, pull in pelvic floor. Now take that leg a bit further out to the side and see if you can take those small circles out to the side. The size of a grapefruit, very small, nice and slow, lots of control. And then I'm going to say, you know what's going to come is going to go to the behind. So kind of a bit more glutey work here. Take it behind, take the small circles. Perhaps take the chest slightly over that front foot. To keep the balance. Scrunch up the toes, lift up the arches. Circle the other way around. Small controlled circles. Try not to hold the breath. And release, and then we go to the other side. So put the weight over, scrunch up the toes, lift up the arches. Pull in pelvic floor, pull in TBA. Start with the small circles in front. And the hips are still. Kind of wakes up all those little muscles. Pelvis in the pelvis. Then take that out to the side. Small circles, keep the control. Try not to hold the breath. Still working at pulling in. Other way around. These balance exercises are so good for us. Then take it behind. Take the weight slightly forwards, chest going over the top of the knee. Those small circles, maybe you feel it in the glute a little bit here. Other way around. And then release. So another standing move we're going to do is cycling. So just placing your hands behind your head. And we're just going to take a high knee with one leg. So high knee, squeeze the glutes, and then opposite elbow is going to come down, small crunch, and then recenter. So we've got the knee lifted, it's a small crunch, then recenter. It's quite tricky because we're on a balance, and we're not going all the way down. So we're not looking for this perfect knee to elbow move here. So we're looking at we're working with our body and kind of where our limits, boundaries are going to be. And then recenter. It's really quite tricky, right? So just bringing that elbow across midline and a little crunch. Keep pulling in pelvic floor, TBA. 2 more. Last one. Switch sides, so take your high knee, find your balance, then take a small opposite elbow to opposite knee, little crunch. Don't forget, as you recenter it, so as you're lifting back, really work at getting your shoulders back. Shoulders back, squeeze them together. Into little crunch, recenter. I mean, it's hard enough just holding that knee upright for this balance. Super hard. 2 more. Pull in pelvic floor. Pull in TBA, squeezing that glute. Bet you can't wait now to do this lying down. You're like, no, I don't want to do that standing ever again. Last one, okay, just to get you thinking about these moves a little bit differently. The 100 standing up. Take your arms down by your sides. The 100 is when you pulse your arms, when we do that lying down normally, okay? Take your weight forwards like we did in the beginning, almost like that ski jump position. So take your chest over your knees, then pulse your arms, okay? Pulsing arms from the shoulders, right? So wrists are staying tight, forearms are tight, arms are straight. Okay, pull in pelvic floor, pull in TBA, and keep that weight slightly forwards. Now we're going to add in some breath. So it's in, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take the palms up, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll let you do that in your own time because it's really hard to tie it in with my counting. But it's in, and it's out. It's in, and it's out. So if you can get that breath to the 5 count, okay? In, and it's out. Now work pelvic floor, work TVA. Breathing in, breathing out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going with this. 4 more. Breathing in and breathing out. 3 more. Try and keep those arms straight. The triceps working as you push your arms back. Take the weight forwards. Engage the core. Breathing in. Breathing out. It's hard to do it on that 5 last time. Breathing in. Breathing out. And relax. A little bit of a shake out. Meet me down in an all fours position. So bring it down to the mat. All fours, you got hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to take a salute. So take the right hand and take a salute, right? That's a salute. Take a salute. Extend that left leg. Hold this salute then, keep that elbow up level with the shoulder. Lower the left leg and lift. Lower the left leg, keep the hips still, pull in pelvic floor, pull in TVA. And lower, lift and lower. Now you're going to feel that left glute getting a little bit of a squeeze. And now just keep working at keeping that right elbow up nice and high, level with the shoulder. Take the focus into that left glute, squeezing. And the core being super still, super strong. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, breathing out. 3, and 2, and 1. Cross that left foot across the body. So we cross it over the right foot. Then placing that right hand down and just take the eye gaze, take the head over towards your left foot. So we've put in a nice little twist. Left foot crosses over right, nice and straight. Really push away the back of the knee, so you're getting a nice little stretch here. Then take the eye gaze and look right over that shoulder like we did in our twist in the warm-up. Just a nice little stretch there through the hips. Take some deep breaths. Recenter, we're going to go over to the other side. So take that salute on the left arm. Keep that left shoulder up level with, left elbow up level with the shoulder. Extend that right leg. Lift and lower. Pull in pelvic floor, pull in that TVA, lift and lower. Squeezing that right glute. It's a nice glute activation exercise. Lift and lower. And lift. Lower. Try and keep that elbow at level with the shoulder, eye gaze to the front of the mat. Ready then, 8, 7, and 6. Keep squeezing that glute. 5, 4, and 3, and 2, 1. Extend and then bring that over. So your legs are crossed. Then bring that left hand, then look round the left shoulder. Really push away the back of the knee on this right leg. So that right leg's really straight. Push away the heel. Looking around the shoulder. Take this nice twist. Take a couple of deep breaths. Recenter out of there then. Coming down onto the mat. Ready to get ready for our swan dive. Bring the arms down by the sides, palms are up, shoulders are totally relaxed. Pull in pelvic floor, pull in that TVA. Breathing out, lift the shoulders, the head off the mat. Extend the crown of the head forwards, turn the palms around so you've got palms going down. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. Twist the wrists, lower down. Then go again. Lift head and shoulders. Crown of the head reaching forwards here. Twist, palms are facing, the floor, turn, bring it back down. And again, lift. And extend. Adding in if you want, press the fronts of your feet down on the mat. Lift your knees up off the floor. So knees are lifted. Really put a bit of pressure here with the tops of your toes, tops of your feet. And then you can work into your shoulder and your head, lifting your head and shoulders. Breathing up to left. Just puts a nice little bit extra tension all going down the legs there. Lifting up the knees, you can still work with the pelvic floor. So if you want a little bit more, go to the double salute. Hands just resting behind the head, lifting up those knees, breathing out, lift head and shoulders, elbows, and lower. Breathing out, lift. Breathing in, lower. Three more. Maybe you've got those knees lifted, kneecaps lifted. Breathing out to lift. Breathing into lower. Two more, still working with that pelvic floor. And lower. Pressing into the mat then. Let's take a bit of a release. Up onto all fours. So I normally give you that cat stretch. So let's go for a cat stretch, but we're going to put in a little bit of like a circle, a figure of eight. So cat stretch, look towards your thighs, chin to chest. Then just take the weight over the left wrist, the left hand, take it forwards, over towards the right. And then take it back over towards like your bum, your booty, and then come back over. So we're just drawing like a big circle. You can circle it or you can figure of eight it, so you can switch over which way you want to go around. If you want to switch it and figure of eight in the middle, or you want to just take a big circle. Almost think about like water filling out space. So see if you can reach right out to the corners. It's kind of good strengthening into the wrist, putting a little bit of weight there through the wrist. Playing around with the hips here as well, so extending and pushing away at the hips. Like I said, no one's watching. So it's kind of a nice way to stretch. Right into these corners. Last time. I say no one's watching, but I've got a few houses around here. A few sheep. So it's been a little while, let's have a go. Take your hands off the mat either side. Keep the knees down. And do you remember the fingertip press up? So if you get right up onto your fingertips here, pull in pelvic floor, pull in TVA. So set the core to begin with, bend at the elbows. It's almost like a chest stretch. Dropping down, pressing into the floor, lifting back out. And I say it's been a while, sometimes we can lose a bit of upper body strength, but we have been doing downward dog, so almost working into a chest stretch. Let the shoulders drop down, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lift up. 4 more. Keep that connection with the pelvic floor. Try not to let the head really dip or drop. Keep that crown of the head shining forwards. Breathing out. Last one. Coming down then, so elbows underneath the shoulders. And we're going to work into our front leg pull. So begin with knees are going down, pelvic floor in, TVA, and lifting up the hips. Working with that squeeze. I'm going back to the very first move, where we went 100% with the pelvic floor and the TVA. We want about 80-85% when we're front legging, when we're in the plank position here. Check that you're not holding your breath. So we're going to have a little play here. So we're going to take the weight onto one elbow and see if we can salute with one arm. Then drop it back down, other side. So lift the elbow up level with the shoulder. So just a little bit of a challenge here. If you want a little bit more, straighten one leg, straighten the other leg. And again, you can just add in those little salutes. Lifting the elbow. Nice little bit of upper body shoulder strength. Try not to hold the breath. Further progressions if you want it. Salute with one hand, lift the opposite leg. Recenter. Salute, lift the opposite leg. Recenter, whichever one you're on then. 8, 7, 6. Breathing out, 5. Keep squeezing. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Bring the knees down, let the hips come down. Sit back towards your child's pose. Perhaps here you could take really wide knees. So knees to the sides of the mat. Then bring yourself down. Perhaps a little wiggle side to side. Some really good hip stretch here. Reach those fingertips right to the front of the mat. Sending the breath down towards the belly, so there's sending space into the lower back. So from there we come onto our sides. So just picking a side. I'm going to start with a twist. I've got 3 little options here. So number 1, reaching up, breathing in, breathing out, thread the hand through. Get that really good twist there, particularly on the liver. Number 2, elbow down. Bring the twist down. Gets a little bit more of a twist on your chest with that one. Number 3, hand under shoulder, arm up towards ceiling, top foot over the bottom foot. Bring the twist down towards the feet, and it's a little bit more hip, hamstring orientated. See if you can find whichever one works for you. 4 more. Breathing out into these twists. See if you can get those fingertips just a little bit further each time. Check that you're engaging pelvic floor, TVA. Are you following that hand with your eye gaze, your shoulders? Lowering down then. Gonna go to our clowns. Knees together, lift the heels up so they're level with the hips. Lift the top knee and lower. Lift and lower. Check pelvic floors and TBAs here. So hopefully you should get glute med straight away, because we've been doing a lot of these, and you should know how to just drop that top hip forwards to get that glute med. Shouldn't get it at the front on the hip flexor. Lift, lower. Breathing out to left. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Extending those legs away, double leg lift. Try and get a nice straight line with the front of the mat. Lift the top leg, lift the bottom leg. Really work these extensions now. Reach the feet away from you down the end of the mat. Lift the rib cage. Reach that arm up and over for a balance. Lowering it all back down. Lift, lift. Rib cage. Pull in and squeeze that pelvic floor and take it over. And lower, 2 more. Lift, lift. Rib cage, pelvic floor TVA. Pulling in. Over. Work with the balance. And lower, last one. Lift, lift. Rib cage, lift. Take that arm up and over. Really work these extensions now, right through the fingertips. And lowering it down. Coming and roll onto your back. Coming up. Just going to slip this move in the middle of our side series. We're going to go to our teaser. So if you place your hands behind your thighs, start with half a teaser. Pull in pelvic floor, pull in TVA. So here we go. Let's lift up the chest, take the shoulders back. Nice. Now let's have a little play. So let's see if we can let go of one arm and lift one arm up towards the ceiling. Then bring it back down. Other arm lift. Bring it back down. Breathing out, lift. Bring that back down. Who wants to have a go then? Both arms lift. Nice and slow, so if you can keep the legs still. Keep working with the core. Bring them back down. A little bit more then. Take one foot down towards the floor, straightening out one leg. Same position with the arms. One arm lift. And lower. Other arm lift. And lower. Both arms lift. You're going to get to that biting point where it's all going to want to fall apart. And lower. Other leg. Straightening out. See if you can keep the knees in line. One arm lift. And lower. Other arm. Keep pulling in here. TVA pulls. Pelvic floor pulls. Both arms really slowly. Take the thumbs up towards the ceiling. Lower it down. Hands behind the thighs then. Can we go straight legs now? So we're kind of like progressing little bit by little bit. Imagine you're a boat. Here we go, we're in our boat. Can we straighten out the legs? Shoulders back, lift at the chest. One arm left. And lower. Other arm left. Try and keep that boat nice and still in the water. And lower. Who wants it? Both arms lift. And lower. Don't let the boat fall over. Woo. Last one then, with your last move, everything lowers. So the boat goes right down into the water, chin to chest, draw the boat back up. Couple more times, all the way down, boat flat in the water, chin to chest. One of the hardest moves here in Pilates, I would say, is going from that full body stretch up into your teaser position. All the way down, chin to chest. You can bend the knees at any time, up, back into your boat. Woo! Release that back down. We're going to switch sides. So finding the twist on the other side. Let's go through the progressions here again. So we're starting up in that upright seated position. Breathing in, lift the arm up towards the ceiling. Breathing out, threading through. And you feel the twist down, abdominals, kind of liver area. Kind of a really nice way. Work through some toxins in the liver. Next one was elbow underneath the shoulder into that sort of side plank position, and the twist there kind of works a little bit more with the chest, the rib cage, as the shoulder drops down, and then you find space at the top. And then that other one, more on hamstrings and the hips, hand underneath your shoulder, arms straight, and then just bring that hand down towards the feet. Whichever one you're on there, breathing out for that twist. Breathing in to reach up towards the ceiling. Find pelvic floor. Pull in TVA. Extend right through those fingertips. 4. And 3. And 2. Last one. Lowering down into our clown position. Bend the knees, lift the heels up. A little bit higher than the hips if you can. Tilt that top hip forwards. Pelvic floor in, TVA in. Lift the top knee, lower. Lift and lower. It's almost like taking that glute knee, tightening it, but also lengthening it at the same time. Breathing out, lift. Breathing in, lower. Try not to let the pelvis or the hips really open into that move. And 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep working with the pelvic for the TVA. 4, 3, 2, 1. Extending the legs away then. Ready for out, double leg lift, lift, lift. Rib cage lift. Work with some balance here. Take it over. Lower it down. Lift, lift. Rib cage. Take it over. Interesting, like notice how much your head pushes into your hand. It's kind of, I just really noticed that. I'm really pushing in with my balance. And lower. Lift, lift. Find that pelvic floor. TVA. Lift at that rib cage. Woo. Take it over. Fingertips extend. And lower. 2 more. Lift, lift. Rib cage lift. Take it all the way over. And release. Last one. Lift, lift. Rib cage. Take it over for the balance. Breathing out, release. Rolling onto your back then. And we're going to go into our normal way of doing that 100. So 4 toe taps, 8 pulses, and then an 8-second hold. 5 times 3. That's always going to be in here, isn't it? You just know that one. Hands on hips then, just get your hips nice and still. Find neutral spine. Pelvic floor in, TVA in. Walk your feet towards the end of the mat. 4 toe taps. 4, 3, and 2. And try and keep those hips still. 1. Lift the head and shoulders, look towards the knees. Pulse. Maybe you feel the same muscles we found in that warm-up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide the hands up towards the knees. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Here we go again. If you want more, tabletop it. Imprint that lower back down towards the floor. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Lift and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straightening legs, reach towards the knees. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. 4 toe taps. Try and keep the right ankle behind the knee. 4, 3, breathing out. 2, and 1. Imprinting that lower back to the floor. Lift and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straightening legs, reach towards the knees. Taking the rib cage down to the hips. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. We've got 2 sets left. Shoulders down, pelvic floor in, 4 toe taps. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're still smiling, lifting pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs and reach. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, breathe. 2, 1, and release. Last one, let's get that imprint, pelvic floor in, 4 toe taps. 4, and 3, and 2, 1. Lift and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten legs and reach. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Arms over the head, straightening out the legs. Give everything a bit of a squeeze. The chin goes down to chest. Press the back of the head into the mat. Scrunch up the wrists. Press the shoulders into the mat. Pull in the tummy muscles. Push the backs of the knees into the mat. Point the toes. Take a big deep breath in. Breathing out, just letting go of all those muscles. Feet can turn out towards the sides of the mat. Bending the knees. Going into our heel slide, so sliding one heel away, bringing that back up to center. If you place your hands on your hips, try and keep your hips still with this one. Don't let the hips tilt side to side. Slide. Bringing it back up. Pelvic floor in, TBA in. If you want a little bit more, then tabletop that. So you've got to get a bit more imprint. Pull in TBA. Pushing one heel away and then recenter. Pushing one heel away, recenter. So going back to something we did in the warm-up with this one, place your hands behind your head as you extend one leg away, opposite elbow drives towards opposite knee and lower. So remember we had a little go in standing on this one. And the same thing happens when we lie down, we've got to work with our balance. So we're not letting the hips kind of tilt, breathing out into the lifts. And you can always do that with the heel slide. You don't have to be in the tabletop for that one. And we don't have to go for the touch. 4 more. Breathing out. And 3. And 2. And 1. Take the arms up towards the ceiling. Breathing out then, turn the thumbs inside, take the arms over the head, circle them all the way around the body. Back towards the knees, back to center. Palms go out. See if you can just touch those little fingers up over the head. Circle it around. Notice as you take your arms over the head what's happening with your chest and your core. Do you find that your lower back lifts? So then pull in pelvic floor, pull in TBA. Are you finding that your chest kind of wants to flare and lift? Your ribcage wants to lift. So that comes with pulling in rectus abdominis. So as you go arms over your head, kind of think about your ribcage pulling down towards your hips. And that's your RA, rectus abdominis. Upper abs. 6-pack abs. If you want a little bit more than with this, tabletop it. As your arms go over the head, straightening out those legs with double leg stretch. Circle it around, still got the focus with the pelvic floor and that TBA in the middle. And then thinking about the RA, the rib cage, coming down toward your hips. So don't let that chest flare. Keeping that imprint on the lower back. 4 more. Breathing out into these extensions. Nice big circles all the way around the body like we did in that warm-up. Pressing the air away. 2 more. Chin towards chest, push the back of the head into the mat. Last one. Arms going out to the sides. If you haven't got the space, just cactus them. I'm a little bit close to the wall here, so I'm going to cactus. Breathing out, let both knees drop across to one side. So it's that lower back release, looking in the other direction. You should feel this chest stretch in here too. Breathing in, recenter, over to the other side. Really nice stretch here. Lower back. What's called a spine twist. Adding in if you want then, there's a hamstring stretch, so tabletop it. Take those knees across to the point where you're going to fall and your knees are going to drop. Then extend out to the corners. Rebend in the middle. Over to the other side. Get this really good stretch. IT band along the side and the outside of the leg. Bending in the middle. So pull in pelvic floor, pull in that TVA. You need that core to restabilize. Try not to let the chin lift up towards the ceiling. So if you need to put your cushion in behind your head, or just work at pushing the back of your head into the mat, chin going towards your chest. And extend. Some juicy stretching here on the backs of the legs. Extend. Maybe you're still feeling that chest stretch, shoulders planting down into the mat. Last one. Placing the feet down then. Walk the heels a bit closer to your bum so you can touch your heels. Just taking a little pelvic tilt here. So imagine you've got a marble, you're going to roll that marble towards the shoulders. Really squeeze and pull in that pelvic floor as you're doing this. And then you've got space underneath your lower back. You can actually slide your hand underneath your lower back. And then again, marble up to your shoulders. Marble down to your feet, space underneath the lower back. It's like a massage here for the lower back and spine. And maybe even you get the stretch at the hip flexors as you tilt and roll the marble up towards your chin. Okay, ready to work into our shoulder bridge then. So roll the marble up towards your chin, start to lift up the hips. We're going to bring the arms up over the head. Squeezing the glutes in, keep the hips still. Extend one leg out towards the space. I was going to say the tree, but not everybody has a tree in front of them right now. Hold. Now squeeze that glute. Really squeeze that grounding glute. Now we're going to work with our arms here. Bring the arms back over and back down, but hold that leg up. Keep squeezing that glute. Bring the arms back over the head. Keep working then. Bring the arms back down. Keep squeezing in that glute. No wobbling here. This is really lower back glute strengthening work. Bring the arms back over. Keep working, keep moving with these arms. Coming back up and over. Keep the length at the back of the neck, chin towards chest. Last one, bring the arms down. Bring the arms up. Place that foot down. Bring the arms back down. Let's roll it back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Reset, then roll the marble back up towards your chin, chin to chest. Bring the arms back over. Ready for the other leg. Straightening out that other leg. Squeezing the glutes then. Try and keep the hips nice and still here, they're not tilting. Ready to make some movement with the arms. So bring the arms back down. Keep squeezing those glutes. Bring the arms back up and over. Feel the length here at the back of the neck, chin to chest. Bring the arms back down. This is hard, right? Keep working. Take them back over. Keep working at strengthening these glutes and lower back. Bring the arms comes down. Take the arms back, up and over. Are you holding that breath? Let's keep breathing here, breathing out. Last time, up and over. Bring them back down. Last one, up, back. Lower that foot down. Bring the arms back down, then vertebrae by vertebrae. Let's bring it all the way down. Hug the knees into the chest. Little bit of a circle. Bit like those hip circles we did in the warm-up. Take that nice big circle. Try and work towards the edges. Other way around. And then from there, just see if you can rock yourself up to a seated position. How we doing for time? Okay. So let's work with a little roll back here. So just take the toes, big toes, and touch the mat. Hold on to your shins. If you're not 100% in your back, you're going to go C shape and then draw yourself up to an S shape as much as you can. So C shape, lower back comes down, S shape lifting up. If you're ready, you're going to roll back with me. So we're going to make a nice curve shape in the spine, rock back, coming back up. Allow that C shape, that lower back to come down towards the mat and back. So really work with the hover. The hover is that really tricky bit. So pulling in the core. Get back to that hover. So I'm going to put in a little bit more of an advanced move if you want it here. So you need a bit of space behind you. We're going to do a boomerang. And this is a hamstring stretch. Only if you think you can progress on from that roll back. Otherwise, stay with the roll back. Legs are straight. Can you see me? I need a bit of space behind me. Legs are straight. We're going to roll back up to your shoulder stand. Feet go directly up over chin to chest. You drop that over to that, over the head, hamstring stretch, cross the legs. 1, 2, 3. Take it back up to a nice straight shoulder stand. Vertebrae by vertebrae, roll it down, cross the legs and reach forwards. So cross the legs as you come back down, reach forwards. So it's kind of quite a nice move to get further into the hamstrings, but also here for the control. So find a nice straight shoulder stand on the way up, and then you go over, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then find that shoulder stand again. Get the control, then bring it down with control, cross the leg and reach. If the roll back, roll over is too much, cross the legs, reaching up and reach. Okay, and then in there, there's just this nice little stretch, right? So if the rolling back was a little bit too much, reaching up and then bringing that forwards. See if you can hug those toes. If you're going with your roll backs, just go for one more. Otherwise, we're reaching up, reaching forwards. Nice cross legs, just a nice little variation. So let's all meet in this position, sitting up. Place the hands down underneath the shoulders. Nice release on the hips and the hip flexors. We're just going to lift up those hips and lower. Also a little bit of tricep work. Backs of the arms lift and lower. You know I'm going to add in, so it's lift, one leg lift, same leg lower, and lift, and lower. 7, 6, keep those hips lifted. 5, you're going to feel the hamstrings. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering it down, then we're going to do the other leg. Push into the mat, lift those hips. Ready, lift. 8, 7, 6. Keep the hips up. 5, hamstring stretch, 4, 3, 2, 1, lowering it down then. Facing this way, soles of the feet together. Just take a little butterfly stretch. Breathe in, get nice and tall. Breathing out, you can take chin to chest and just kind of fold forwards. Kind of a really nice inner thigh groin stretch. Couple of deep breaths. So crossing the legs, we're just going to finish with a little bit of breathing, but a little bit of movement here as well. A little bit of space behind you, so maybe come to the front of the mat. Breathing in, arms go up, over, circle them round, take the eye gaze up, bring the palms together, a bit like warm up. Press away the air, place the hands behind you, take the eye gaze up. Now really work at lifting up the heart. Squeezing the shoulders maybe too, lifting up the heart. Breathing out then, C-shape the spine, bring the hands forwards. Okay, so there's 3 moves in there. We're going to do that 2 more times. Arms up and over, palms together. Press the air away. Place the hands behind. Push up, lift up the heart. If you're comfortable, take the eye gaze up. Lifting as high as you can, breathing out, rounding the back here and bring the forehead down towards the floor. Last one. Breathing in, lifting all the way up, pressing palms together. Pressing that away, press into the hands, lifting up the heart. Really nice chest stretch. Breathing out, rounding in the spine. Head coming forwards towards in front of you. So I'm going to finish with a little phrase. Be still like a mountain and flow like a great river. Namaste.